Hi guys! So today I'm going to be filming a very short tutorial on how to make a very simple jacket for a cosplay. And this one is actually for a Merlin cosplay, I'm sorry. I'm actually doing this for a commission. And so what you're going to do first is take a t-shirt to trace. I'm doing this for one of my guy friends, so I'm using one of my dad's shirts. And trace out one of the sleeves. Be sure to get this curved shape at the top. And for your fabric, and I'm using just a simple cotton brown fabric, to get both sleeves, what you will do is fold the fabric in half once, and then fold it in half again a second time. And the top part of the sleeve should be on fold. So once that is done, you will have a piece that looks a little something like this. Okay, you'll have a piece that looks a little something like this, and I think it kind of looks like Shrek, actually. I know, I have a very weird way of thinking, but that's what it will look like when it's open. So what you will do is you will actually fold it in half, and since my fabric frays a little bit, I'm sorry guys, you will use a zigzag stitch along the outside seam. And so then you will sew up the sleeve, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so for the second part of this tutorial, and I'm actually going to go out on a limb here and say I have about 2 yards for this entire costume, and that may change depending on your body type or whoever you're doing this for's body type. But for the actual body of the jacket, what you will do is taking the shirt, and you'll need a long sleeve shirt unless you're making a short sleeve jacket. Taking the shirt, you will tuck in the sleeve, and then you will trace around the armhole, and then you will trace around the entire shirt, leaving about, I'd say, an inch of seam allowance if you are using something that frays, and maybe 1/4 of the seam allowance if you're using something that does not fray. But then when you do that, you will cut it out and you will sew up both sides and then both shoulder seams. I actually completely forgot to mention this earlier, but the reason why I'm using a zigzag stitch here is because my fabric does fray, and why you'll need 1 inch of seam allowance if your fabric does fray is because what you will do is you'll use a zigzag stitch to get it all together, and then using your scissors or rotary cutter, you will cut off some of the excess, I don't know why I can't say that, some of the excess fabric away from the seam allowance here. So cut as close to that stitch as you possibly can, and it shouldn't fray after that. The next step is, once you have everything sewn, you will take the sleeve and, turning it right side out, you will put it into the armhole that you created. Now, be sure that the body of the jacket is turned inside out, so you have that seam there. And when you put these two pieces together, you will wind up with both right sides being together. So this stitch there and then this stitch there should meet up, and then you will have the right sides of the sleeve and the right side of the jacket facing together. So match all the seams up and then sew around the sleeve and the body. And as you can see, mine has been messed with a little bit, so it's not in correctly, so I will have to fix that before I sew. But then you will sew all the way around and then pull the jacket out and then cut as close to the seam as you can. So once the sleeves are attached, what you're going to do now is hem the sleeves and then find the center front of the now shirt, and taking your scissors, cut up just the center front. Don't cut both sides, just the center front. And once you are done with that, you will now hem your collar as well as the front and the bottom part of your jacket, and you are done.